I'm Mark Halpern for Wide World of News. Thanks for joining us again. We're talking to some of the people who are going to help solve this problem for America, deal with the virus and deal with bringing back our economy. As I've said from the beginning, people in business, large businesses, medium businesses, small business, startups, they're going to be a big part of bringing this country back. And America is filled with creative people and people who are determined to help and to do the right thing. Joining us today is someone who's got an extraordinary story in terms of involvement in dealing with the virus. Lisa Copass is the CEO and founder of CloudHauz, a company that was not supposed to be underway now. They were planning their launch, but because of what's happened, they've moved up the schedule. They make shelters of various kinds and are now focused on a market to try to deal with some of the excruciating needs around the country for people to have temporary shelter. And Lisa, thank you for joining us. Tell people why you decided to move up your schedule to start looking for customers and looking to start manufacturing now as opposed to in a few months as you had planned.
Okay. Hi, Mark. Thank you for having me today. It's a pleasure. We are bringing the company to market under very strange circumstances. We did not predict this was going to happen when we started the company last June. We really started the company around the fires and the homelessness that was happening around the fires. But when COVID hit, we thought we need to get our dwellings and our shelters out there now. So we launched about 2 months ahead of schedule. We would have liked to have a prototype here on site, but they're coming in a couple weeks. So we've got 2 different options for people right now. They can be out here in 30 days. We are ready to go and we are here to help. We are so devastated by this tragedy. And we really think that we all need to come together right now and provide whatever we can to the folks in need.
So the 2 structures you're talking about now are, as my grandfather would say, in the 2 sizes people like most, small and large. Right. And the small one, you're thinking, both these structures have lots of uses, but the small one you're saying would be good for the homeless community as compared to how they're currently being housed. Explain what this structure is, how big it is, and why it would be better for cities and states to purchase these for homeless people as opposed to what's normally done.
Yes, yes. The smaller one is an 8x12. Essentially, it's a rectangle with a door and a window and a gable roof. They are easy to assemble. They lock into place like Legos. They are durable. They do not burn. They withstand earthquakes and hurricane up to 200 miles per hour. They withstand an earthquake up to 9 on a Richter scale. They're thermal, so they're very warm and comfortable. They're non-toxic. So what's happening right now is because we're desperate, they're putting some of the homeless encampments into tough sheds, like an 8x12 kind of a tough shed. It's never been meant for a human, right? It's for a lawnmower and fertilizer. So there's fires that happen and then it becomes toxic and they burn. So we're saying that's kind of an inhumane option when we have an alternative. So CloudHauz has the alternative. The alternative is using a construction technology that's been around for 30 years. It's proven, it's tried and true, and it is durable for these kind of situations and hazardous situations, and they can reuse these. If a city wants to invest in these, they can, once they clear up one crisis, they can move on off to the next. They can take them down, block them, unlock them, put them on a flatbed truck and take them to the next crisis area.
And the other product is a larger shelter. And what do you envision cities and states to be able to use that for?
Yeah, so that's an 8x20. It can be used as a trailer, so portable and movable. It can also be used as what they call an ADU. That's a detachable dwelling unit that can go on pillars in your backyard. It can go on a fairground, on just a slab cement or on a parking lot. So those are really nice for people that maybe want to park them in front of their house. So say if you're on the front line, you're a fireman and you've been exposed and you want to go home, not to a hotel. You could comfortably live in a trailer. It's got a loft. You can put whatever you want in it. You can have plumbing. Essentially, it would be a trailer, an RV type living situation, which makes the families comfortable to know that their loved one is right next door, even though they can't go into the house at this time. Oh, they can also be for a medical facility. So the portable version can be decked out with all kinds of equipment. It can go from crisis center to crisis center and offer solutions that way for people that are sick.
Right. So we're in the midst of a crisis, and every institution, government, nonprofit, for-profit, is scrambling now, trying to adjust. I can imagine that almost any hospital in America, almost any mayor, almost any governor, if they could have access to your products, they say, "Yeah, bring them in. Let's set them up, and let's start housing people." How difficult is it to look for business in this climate? You're a company that's brand new. You're trying to reach out to people and say, "Hey, look at me. I've got this. And this can really help your problems now." How difficult is that in this environment?
Well, that's part of why we wanted to come to market quicker, because we were, it's there's bureaucracy right now, right? They're trying to get to us and we're trying to get to them. We've been trying to reach governors, mayors, city officials. We've made some headway, but we get in the queue when you get into like an email, or you get into like a situation where you don't get a call back. So we know they need what we have, and we want to provide it. We just need that connection. So we're asking mayors, governors, whoever is in charge of a housing agency, and any kind of where we can help, we're here. People just don't know how to reach us. So we're saying, call us. We're here. We're open for business. We've got solutions. We've got great solutions. And we just need people to know about us more.
So you manufacture everything now. You're going to start building on the West Coast, but right now you're manufacturing everything on the East Coast, right?
Correct. Yes.
So to talk about the challenges, let's say someone in San Francisco, Northern California, where you are, a town or a city, orders 50 units. How are you going to get them from the East Coast to the West Coast in this environment?
They can be out here in 30 days. So they're going to put them on flatbed trucks and ship them out. It'll take 2 weeks once we get sort of the blueprints of what it is they really want. If they want the one that we have, we're ready to go. That's already, the shop drawings are ready and approved. So we literally can get them out here within 30 days, and we can keep doing hundreds and hundreds each month, and we can ramp up more as quickly as we can. And then the manufacturing plant that we want to put out here in California, hopefully on Mare Island, which is in Northern California, we would like to have that out here within 6 months. It takes 3 months to build it, and we would use our technology, construction technology, to actually build it, or put ourselves in an existing building, and we can ramp up quicker. So we do need the funding to put a plant out here. So the West Coast desperately needs this technology. We just need to all put together and move quickly.
So you've been involved in various businesses and new businesses throughout your time, going back to when you were in your 20s, and this is a unique time and a unique challenge. Talk about, as an experienced business person, talk about not just the challenges for your company, but the challenges you see for startups and for companies that are trying to be part of the solution to sell into a market now that has needs and demands that no one envisioned a few months ago.
Yeah, it's super challenging, and I think it's going to take some time to untease all the challenges. The biggest challenge, I think, is people are just frightened, right? We're afraid to get back to business. We could, but each community, I think, has to kind of figure out, it's going to be at a community level. Does business open there? And then do the schools open? Then churches open? It's going to have to be a staggered way. I think it's going to be very case by case. We can't just have a blanket solution for this getting back to work. I think each community and each company is going to have to decide what's best for them. I feel like we're in a really good, fortunate situation because we are not quarantined. We can work, and we want to work, and we want to put people to work. We want to build industry. And we feel like this is $1 billion industry for housing in the United States that people need to think differently right now. This is a time where we can rethink, rebuild sort of where we want to go. It's a dark time, right? It's everyone's kind of trying to figure out what it is, where are we going to go with all of this? And from our perspective, it's a blessing because there is a silver lining to this cloud. That means we get to start over again. And CloudHauz is going to be there when everything kind of falls apart, or comes back together after falling apart. And we are going to give people jobs and open industry and get back to work and building houses all over the country and possibly all over the world with this construction technology is going to continue. So we're in a good spot, but I know some companies are not as fortunate. And we have to just really stick together as a community, I think, is where we're coming down to.
Okay. Lisa Copass, the CEO and one of the founders of CloudHauz, an exciting new company that you were planning to launch under normal circumstances, and now you're launching early under extraordinary circumstances, and look forward to staying in touch with you and seeing how you fare in this unusual market, to say the least. Lisa, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
I'm Mark Halpern. Thanks for watching. We'll be back with more talks with people from all over America and grappling with this challenge in the days ahead. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.